Ask Dan Schneider. Lydia Bell asked me, Dan, you often speak about talent and skill as if they're the same thing. Are they the same thing? And if not, can you describe the difference? No, they are not the same thing, and I think I have not made the conflation that they are. They are two separate things. Talent is what you initially have. It's natal, it's in you. Then you look at something like skill. Skill is used to refine talent. To become great at anything, you have to have that natal skill or natal talent, and the work comes with the skill. I've known many people, and when I say many, I actually mean maybe a few dozen in various arts, that have real talent in the art. Maybe only two or three of them have really worked at it. I've known people who had mediocre, average natal talent, but they really worked at the skill and became good that way. This came to mind to do this Ask Dan Schneider because I recently read the book Coraline by Neil Gaiman. And that's a good example of a story, a children's story that has potential, and Gaiman's natal talent is enough to make it an interesting plot, but he doesn't have the skill to pull it off at the end and the story falls apart. And it also brings to mind an old acquaintance that I knew back in Minneapolis named Lauren Nemi. Lauren Nemi was a storyteller who would go around to cabarets. I saw him at Ball's Cabaret a couple of dozen times and a dozen times at other venues. And he never seemed to fail to capture an audience because he had a real good natal talent to think up ideas for stories. But he always overtold his stories. If the high point of the story was reached about 3.5 minutes in, he should have ended the talk, but he would go on and on and on for more minutes than needed. And that showed that he never learned the skills and he never really understood what story structure was. So he is a good example of someone who didn't know the difference of what the difference was between his natal talent and his skill needed to bring that talent to its best. And Gaiman's story Coraline is a good example of a story that is based upon Gaiman's talent level, but he lacked the skill to bring it to a fruitful fruition. So I would use those two examples to say the difference between talent and skill. They are not the same. You have to have the first one, the initial talent, to ever be great. But if you don't work on the talent with skill and improve your skill, then all the talent of the world won't make you great.